Superheroes have an undeniable significance in modern culture, and thus in modern media. If you walk around campus, there's a decent chance that you'll see at least one or two people wearing some sort of superhero memorabilia. Whether it's on their shoes, maybe, most likely a t shirt with a simple superhero symbol on it, or maybe some type of wristband, or they have it on their phone case. Point is that everybody understands that these symbols and designs represent a superhero, and that's because they permeate our culture so thoroughly. Look at the movies. Some of the biggest blockbusters that came out this year were superhero movies. Guardians of the Galaxy was met with great reviews and made a ton of money with characters that we weren't really familiar with. Something that would fit into a more traditional superhero mold would be Captain America. That's a sequel to a pre-existing franchise, but it's a character that everybody knows and recognizes. I say the phrase Captain America, you have a picture in your head of some version of him. Some of you may be more into comics, so you picture the comic book version of Captain America. Some of you may be into more cartoons. There's cartoon versions of Captain America. A lot of you have probably seen him in the movies, so you're probably picturing Chris Evans in a Captain America suit. My point is that you understand that superheroes are popular, and we like them. A true sign of when something is really popular is when it can be parodied, because that means that you understand what's being parodied in order to understand the joke. And as a decent idea of how long superheroes have been popular and significant, we can look at SpongeBob. SpongeBob started in 1999. Think about that, feel old, and then come back with me. One of the main running characters on that show, or set of characters, is Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. Obviously a parody of superheroes. They have the invisible boatmobile as a counterpoint to Wonder Woman's invisible jet, and Mermaid Man's clearly based off of Aquaman. And the reason this joke works and can make you laugh is because you understand what they're making fun of. You get that the invisible boatmobile is making fun of Wonder Woman's invisible jet, and you get that Mermaid Man is making fun of Aquaman. When something's this popular, it's interesting to take a look at why it's this popular, because there's usually something behind it. There's more to it that we can look at and understand about culture and what we want. Superheroes are equivalent to modern-day mythology. That is, they give us a story to compare ourselves to, put ourselves in that situation, think about what we would do given the exact same situation and conditions, and learn a little bit more about ourselves. That's the grand purpose of stories like this. We used to have gods and heroes like Zeus and Hercules and Perseus and all of these types of things, but that type of mythology is outdated. We can't relate to it. That mythology was created to explain supernatural, at least supernatural to ancient societies, phenomena. The sun rising and setting, the weather changing as time passed. But we don't need that anymore. We understand that weather is determined by the rotation of the Earth's axis and its distance from the sun at a given time. We understand the sun rises and sets because the Earth is rotating. What we need are the stories to compare ourselves to, and that's where superheroes come in. If you put yourself in Batman's shoes, do you go on his crime-fighting crusade, or do you use your money to do something different? Imagine you have the same motivations and you see your parents gunned down. Would your reaction be similar? Assume that you're already the superhero and you're fighting a villain. How would you handle that situation? You think about what you would do and you learn a little bit more about yourself. Superheroes represent symbols and ideals that we can compare ourselves to. Batman can represent justice. Superman can represent hope. Spider-Man can represent responsibility. Iron Man can represent ingenuity in the face of adversity, being the thing that can move us along. So keep that in mind next time you wonder why a superhero movie's doing so well at the box office. Maybe it's tapping into something more primal and necessary than you really realize.